Hello, great people. Nigerians are outraged with the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu based on the decision of the government to arraign EndBadGovernance protesters. 76 of them were arraigned in court today. And the unique thing about this arraignment is that the 76 that were arraigned were minors. That means that they are underage. Their age range between 12 to 16 years. So that has gotten Nigerians outraged that, wetin all these small boys, wetin they know, that why will you be arraigning all these kind of small boys? And particularly as regards what they are arraigning them for, which is treason, felony, and alleged plan to overthrow the government. And Nigerians were laughing that, come on, is it this kind of, boys we never even chop that we overthrown a whole government of a country, the capital of the black race, Nigeria. So that's got people outraged. Now, another thing that now break everything pata is some of those children were collapsing in court. Now, I'm going to play you the video of those children as they collapse in court. Then when we come back, I'll be giving you my insight of the issue that, okay, why is the government arraigning these people? What message is government trying to pass across by this arraignment, and what could have influenced government to arraign these children? And one major thing is that what led to the change in how you kind of like rebook children. For instance, while I was growing up, and I believe while you were growing up, the method of rebooking children when they do something that you feel is wrong is different from what government is doing now. Why did that change, and what led to the change? Trust me, it's going to be an interesting time with you as always. But first, let's watch this video. Let's watch it.
One day, there's someone that leave our money. They are hungry. They don't even have school fees. They don't have any. They don't even have
One day, someone that leave our money.
These people we are just 20-something years. Like something like 6 days. That is 6 days. That's what the students say. My case is different than my child. What is
Hello. Please, maybe the recording can just stop for now, please. Let's just take a position and see what will happen.
Let me go and take the this person is talking to the baby. They came to the
The prosecutor should do their business. How can you arrange children? What's help? Bashi. As you can see, the minority is not eating for the past 4 days. They've been kept by the government in detention. These are boys who are between 13, 14 years old. They've not had food, they are minorities, they are sick. They were snapping in the course of trial in court. You can see how minorities they are, how sick they are. They've not been fed for this. These are boys who were arrested for attempting, in quotes, to overthrow President Muhammadu Buhari. They've been kept for 3 months without school. These are children of school age. They've been kept away from their homes, from their families, and they've been left without food. We've had to provide food for them in court. And you can see how those boys are eating because they've been deprived by the same government who has a responsibility to protect the rights.
There you have it. You can see the children, the underage children, collapsing in court. And you want to imagine that why would a government want to put itself through this embarrassment? And you want to imagine that what are the people in government thinking, that you want to arraign children between 12 to 16 years. And looking at these children, you will see that these are largely uneducated children. I doubt if they know what is a noun. For instance, if you ask them, what is a noun? What is a pronoun? I'm not sure they have that education to be able to kind of like tell you what a pronoun or a preposition is. So these are underage and uneducated children. You want to ask yourself that what capacity do these ones have to kind of like overthrow a government? Do you know what overthrowing a government means? Nigeria is the capital of the black race. If you want to overthrow a government, you need some intelligence, you need some maturity, you need some networking, you need some financial ability. These guys that are being arraigned in court lacks all these things, all the indices of somebody that has the capacity to overthrow a government. Now, another thing is, these are soft arrests. You know, when the protest is going on, these are guys that when police decide to arrest people, when they decide to raid, these are people that perhaps can't run as fast as the police. These are people that have not mastered the act of protesting. Perhaps some of them are even participating in protests for the first time in their lives. Some of them don't even know what protest means. Maybe they just see people doing a procession and they are just chanting songs and they just join them, maybe out of curiosity, that some of them don't even know what the protest is really about. You know, so you can imagine that if you are able to arrest these guys, which are the soft arrests, then where are the real people that are supposed to be arrested? Because if you say that, okay, the protest is about bringing out the government, the protest is about overthrowing the government, then who are the people that are trying to overthrow the government? Who are the leaders of the protest? We've not seen most of them, but what we are seeing is arrest of minors who apparently don't have the capacity to perpetuate a protest. Now, another thing is that these minors have been detained for 80 days, that the police allegedly got an order from the court that they should be detained for 80 days. I want to give the judge the benefit of the doubt that the judge was perhaps not given the real personality of the people that the police want to detain, because I don't want to believe that any sensible judge will grant you 80 whole days, that is almost 3 months, to detain minors that are between the age of 12 and 16 years. I just want to give the judge a benefit of the doubt that perhaps their real identity and their age was not revealed to the judge, because any judge that will kind of like give you the order to detain a 12-year-old to 16-year-old boys to confinement for 80 days. Well, let me just give the judge a benefit of the doubt, although nothing is impossible in Nigeria, but I just want to believe that no sensible judge will give that order if he truly knows the true fact of the case. Now, arraignment means that you have evidence, right? For you to arraign someone, that means that you have gathered evidence, you have established a prima facie case against the person. Now, it should be interesting to see the evidence that police would present in court against these guys. Don't forget that the offense that they are being charged for is treason, felony, and attempt to overthrow a government. So you need to present the fact that how do these boys, these underage children, these guys that are less than 18 years, how can their action lead to an overthrow of the government? What are the evidences? Now that the matter is in public domain, I, for one, want to see the evidence that the police will present in court that will be substantial enough for the court to find them guilty of treason. You know, so that means that for you to find them guilty of treason, you must produce strong evidence, because if you arrest someone for treason as a government, that means you are seeking the permission to detain that person, to imprison that person perpetually, or the permission to kill. And that is where I seem to have a problem with those in government as regards this matter of the use of treason. People in government have so much reduced the mightiness of the word treason, because treason is a very strong word. Treason is not an offense that you just rule out anyhow. In the past, where people have been charged for treason, when they arraign such people, you see that these are people of substance. These are mature people. These are people that perhaps have the required network, the required finances, and the capacity and capability to truly bring down a government. But now you have reduced the mightiness of that charge treason by arraigning these boys that apparently do not have the capacity to overthrow a government. You know, do you know how many people are guiding Aso Rock? Do you know how many military, DSS, and police? And it is these guys that you perhaps didn't find any weapon on them, that you didn't find bomb on them. Are they the ones that want to kind of like overthrow a government? So I am concerned about the misuse and the reduction of the mightiness of the charge treason. And I believe that you can't arraign someone for treason without the presidency knowing. But I want to give the president a benefit of the doubt, because the president qualifies as not only a father and not only a grandfather, but a great-grandfather to these children that were being arraigned in court. I don't want to believe that. I strongly don't want to believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you will give him the fact of the case that underage boy between the ages of 12 to 16 years, that you want to arraign them for treason, and he will assent to it that go and arraign them. I don't want to believe so. As much as it is difficult, I just want to give the president the benefit of the doubt, because these kids qualify as his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I want to believe that it is the people in the presidency, and that's why the president needs to be careful of the people around him. He needs to watch his back. You know, the actions that some of them take end up bringing embarrassment to the president and the administration, because whether you like it or not, even if the president gives an order now that they should be released unconditionally, the fact is that the video is all over the place. It is being watched locally and internationally, and you can't take the fact away that the government has already been seriously embarrassed. So even if you release them, it doesn't rub off the fact that the government has been terribly embarrassed. So you want to ask yourself that the people that decide to arraign these children for treason, like, don't they have children at home? And you want to imagine that who will give them the order to go ahead in the presidency? Because like I said, you cannot arraign somebody for treason. Treason and overthrowing a government means that you want to sack a legitimate existing government. So you cannot arraign somebody for wanting to sack a government, and the government you are accusing they want to sack will not be aware that you are arraigning someone on the grounds that the person or persons want to sack them. So the presidency, to the best of my knowledge, is aware, but I don't know why. I just want to give the president the benefit of the doubt. Now, one of the president's problem is that of advisors. Some of them are always giving him wrong advice or taking wrong steps, because these kids were arrested in Abuja and Kano, and right now the president is not in the best of relationship with the North. The northern governors, 19 of them, including their monarchs, are, at loggerheads with the president as regards the tax policy reform of the president. That the tax policy reform is targeted against the North and it doesn't favor the North. So that is going on. Right now, the people in the North, the northern population, are largely angry because they have been cut off from electricity based on the vandalization of electric facilities that supplies power to the North. So the northern population are not in the best of time with the president, because some of them are even aggrieved that the president is nepotistic in his appointment. Although I believe that those that are accusing the president of being nepotistic and fail to condemn Buhari, are not doing justice to the matter, because they should have condemned Buhari when he was being nepotistic. That doesn't mean that I'm supporting the president to be sectional. No, the president should be a father to all Nigerians, and he should try and be nationalistic in his appointment as much as possible. Now, it gives me great concern that a treason charge is government seeking to kill or to detain perpetually. So if by any abracadabra these children are found guilty, that means that they would be imprisoned or detained perpetually. And one major thing of concern to me is the likely radicalization of these children at the end of the day. They are now exposed to the walls of the police station. They've been exposed to seeing guns being commandeered all over the place, being talked to in a rude manner when they should be in school. That means that you've detained them for 80 days. They've not been in school. And you have now exposed them not only to the walls of the police station, but to the walls of the court. you are radicalizing these children because some of them may not be able to recover from it. And I try to imagine what their parents will be going through at this point in time. Some of them even voted for the president. The president promised them renewed hope. He has not delivered the renewed hope to them, and they are protesting to hold the government accountable, and now you have arraigned their children. How will Nigeria survive it if any of these children, if let's say only 10 of them decide to go radical? Nigeria already have enough problem on its hands. So the likely radicalization of these children is something of concern to me, because you are exposing them to things that are too much for their age. I just hope that the president will act fast and he will act favorably. And at the end of the day, they will get a psychologist to kind of like work on the psyche of these children, so that any kind of bad or any kind of displacement they have in their mind can be erased. And I want the president to begin to check those in a circle, because sometimes your enemy is not far away from you. Your enemy is just beside you. Are there people in your government that want you to be embarrassed? Are there people in your government that don't want you to succeed? The president needs to start looking at all these things. And I just hope that these children will gain their freedom as soon as possible. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we analyze politics and happenings in the polity. Do well to subscribe. Do well to turn on your notification button. Do well to like this video. Catch up with my past video. And of course, I have great interesting videos coming your way. And don't forget that I'm always just around the corner. I'm not always far from you. And of course, you already know that I love you all sincerely.